going to federal court. I'm suing the Crook County Sheriff's, Stewart, and some other crooked lawyers, and state's attorneys. You know, assistant
Just say
state
alleged.
alleged what they're crooks.
Yeah, well, we know that.
Yeah, those assistant state's attorneys and judges. And then I went to federal court, and then I went in form of pauper. And now they're like, you know, they put me on hold for a long time. They had one judge, and all of a sudden now, a month later or something, or over a month, now I get a letter that now Judge Marvin Aspen is taking over, and that he denied me my informer paupers. But Mr. Marvin Aspen, can you tell me a little bit about Marvin Aspen? Because in my complaint with the Crook County Sheriffs and etc., my
Are you saying Crook County? Or
yeah, Crook County. my website's in there, and a lot of my website is about the Shakman, the decree,
there you go.
where the Daly family and, you know, his brothers and so forth broke the decree, which they're not following the decree. Isn't it kind of strange that Marvin Aspen is now in charge of in charge of my my proceedings? What do you have to say about Marvin Aspen? What do you know about him?
Well, first, he's tall and bald.
Joe Skolnick.
Well, yeah, okay, go ahead and ask me.
What does he have to do with the Shakman?
Who, Marvin Aspen?
Yes.
Well, I think back to when I seen the evidence in it, that he was the corporation counsel at the time that Shakman went in to file against the firing.
What year do you think that was?
Oh, that was around 68 he started. He didn't get a decision until 72.
In 72?
And I think he was the corporation counsel until 1971. Then he stepped out into private practice, and then they got the Shakman sort of settled with Shakman.
Why would he leave the corporation counsel in 71?
Well,
what do you think his intentions were?
Well, you know, this will be just, you know, hearsay, just us talking. But I guess it was too tight in there, and then he had to get out, and you can't make any kind of dealings, you know, if you're a corporation counsel guy, you head to the corporation counsel, it'd be unethical for you to help with any other thing else. If you go into private practice, then you could probably do certain other things, and it's okay. You gotta, you know, on the string of the law, you gotta go around.
Oh, okay.
So basically, you know, what I'm saying to you, because I don't know for sure, I wasn't there, I was probably a kid then. So basically, that's what it is. All I know is that the Shakman, what I couldn't realize about the Shakman and all these guys and all these suits about hiring, the Shakman was based on firing. If you look at the note we got from Shakman himself, and if you look at the newspaper ad clippings about the thing, firing and hiring didn't come in until 83. That would be beyond the decree. The decree set for firing, and that if any one person beats Daly in a firing, then he broke that decree, and Washington would have to hold him to that. Because if you look up a decree and what the decree says and means, it's basically on that. And I've noticed that no one talks about firing; they just talk about hiring. I mean, come on. The decree was for firing.
Well, they're not going to mention the firing.
Oh, did you notice another thing too? I forgot to tell you this, but I remember back in 1983, Shakman wanted to do away with Shakman. Could you believe something like that?
Oh, I believe anything these lawyers will do, because he's going to get caught up. One day he's going to get caught up with this phony stuff.
If you go back to some of the videotapes that were then in those days, he said that was only put in to stop the Dalys. I mean, the right we're in now, so I guess he was from the 5th Ward, and he was with Harold Washington or whatever. You know, it's all politics. I mean, everything in this country is probably politics, but that's why I always believed that patronage was extortion. Because, see, the point is, you take the taxpayers' money, and you get these jobs out there, and you give these guys jobs for $50,000, $65,000, $70,000 that they can never have on their own. And then maybe you gotta pay for the light bulbs in the offices and stuff like this, or tickets you gotta buy or something. You never know. You know what they gotta do and how they do it. They'll say they don't, they're doing it on their own, but that's not the point. The point is, you're using taxpayer money to give jobs to people who will then vote for you and work for you on election day. And if you consider that one or two jobs are in the family, the whole family comes out and votes for you, they don't vote for anything.
Now you're talking about family. When you fight the system, what does the system usually do to a person who fights the system?
Well, they try to break you down at family level. They try to bankrupt you. They try to knock you down considerably. And you got to consider that we're going all the way back to the 50s when Old Man Daley got elected, and he had controlled the stockyards. Now you got to realize that all the jobs are not city jobs. There's jobs with other different places where they can put people in, because you know it's tit and tat for this and that. Bend the laws here and there for companies, or like in when they used to have the cattle running around there and the mice and everything running around, they could really put it against Armours, against Wilsons, against anything they wanted. But see, if they put half of the people in there that were voting the right way, then you know you could look to get away on some kind of violations. And as a matter of fact, if I go back,
well, no, what I'm saying is when you fight the system,
oh, what they do,
what happens to you
oh,
personally and your family? What do they try to do? What do the crooks in Cook County do to stop you?
Well, that's a harsh word, but I'd say Cook County. Okay. I guess what they do in Cook County, I guess, is, well, anywhere, is they try to weaken you any way they can. They play by their rules. You know how hard it is when you go get your unemployment, or you get this or you get that. They put you through a ringer. It takes 6 months to do this, to do that. That's the same thing when you're getting your rights and everything. So in other words, they wear you down on money, wear you down on family. They scare your wife and children so that they don't know what's going on. They try to make off that there's something wrong with you, or you're crazy.
Do they try to split up families?
Oh, definitely, definitely. That's the main way. That's,
and what has happened to me and my family?
I've seen you've lost your wife, and you've lost a lot of things. I knew things were happening. Your job, your everything was going. You just put it on the line. I mean, you gave everything in this kind of fight, and you were right in a lot of things you were doing. I could never understand why you got any time in jail for anything. I mean, I couldn't see it. After listening to that tape.
And then what do you say about, okay, like, you know what my wife does, and one of her fellow workers, you know, takes advantage of this situation while I'm in jail. Who knows? I have no idea. I guess whatever's been happening with my wife and certain people has been going on for a while. I call those people home wreckers.
Well, you know what? Just giving you my opinion now. I can't base facts because I don't know any of the people. I haven't talked with any people. But basically, logically, if you go over all the system, all the people that have been hurt out there and stuff like that, it's all basically the same thing. They play on the fear of the woman, the fear of the woman losing everything. She could be in change of life. Things happen. They play on the pity. They say that the husband's a troublemaker. He's this. They try to turn the family on him. That's basically psyop stuff. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what's happened to me.
Is that?
I've been married with my wife 29 years. I've known her since 1972. I've known her family since I've been married, and all of a sudden, her whole family turns on me. All those good times, forget it. There is no good times. It's like I did something wrong, which I did nothing wrong. Imagine if I would have. I was just wondering if I actually did anything wrong, they would have done to me. They probably would have killed me.
Well, that's a strong and harsh word. Anything,
well, I mean,
anything's possible.
I spent 30 days in jail. My wife was the one that got that crooked lawyer.
Well, let's look into you this way now. Well, let's look at it another way. By knocking your family out, knocking your children away from you, we got to first look into it. You got to follow a paper trail. Any of her family work for the city or the state or government or got political jobs, then they could be, you know, working on her. See, because don't forget, when a woman is vulnerable and she forgets what's going on, they'll say, well, there's something wrong with your husband, this is wrong, that's wrong. And then she plays into that family life and they set it up. Now, that would mean that the second greatest thing next to the husband would be the family. So now she would relate to the family and think that this guy is gone. You know what I mean? And they forget anything. And most people are like typical animals. They run for security. Anybody can tell you that. So the security would be a job or somebody talking nice to them. Or don't forget now, Jamie, in a time when you're struggling your business and everything, you're going to be on edge at all times. You're going to argue more with your wife. You're going to be a little meaner. And that's the times when you say, when you take up a marriage, when you say for better or for worse. See, they got to stick with you in these hard times. Realize what you're going through, what's happening. But when everybody turns on you, that's a shame, and especially when you're correct. Because all you were doing was standing up for legally what was yours.
And my wife, when we had talked, she always used to tell me, honey, you're like 95 or 99% right. But I don't know how to explain myself, which she's correct. But I told her once, like Al Sanchez, for instance, and all these other people that have gotten caught, they know they did something wrong, but their families are right behind them, all the way behind them, even though they know they're wrong. And I told her, where's my family at when I've been doing this? And I told her, I'm not doing anything wrong. And if you could find it where I'm doing anything illegal, I'll stop.